Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Randy4short or Randy4short, and in today's video I want to go over the drill down budget method that I've been talking about so much. It hit me the other day that I've been talking to you guys about it. I've been coming out with these templates, but I never really sat down and explained what the drill down budget method that I pretty much came up with is to you guys from start to finish. So that's what this video is meant to do. So let's just get started. So the drill down budget method is a 4-step process designed to allow you to organize the information you need to create and maintain an easy, accurate budget that helps you make decisions that meet your financial goals. So the 4 steps in the process is the yearly overview, the monthly budget, the weekly breakdown, and the expense tracker. So for the yearly overview is a big picture. I'm going to put up on the screen what I use for my yearly overview. I use an Excel spreadsheet, and that's what I recommend because you could do it on paper, but because you are supposed to use it for the entire year, I don't recommend doing it on paper because you're going to be making a lot of edits and things like that throughout the year, and the paper could get like really tattered. So I would suggest doing it in Excel. It's the easiest, but I know not everyone is technically savvy, so just do what works best for you. But this is what I use. But with the yearly overview, it shows you what your finances will look like for the year and allows you to plan out upcoming expenses such as annual or quarterly expenses, vacations, holidays, birthdays, or larger one-time expenses such as weddings, childbirth, or home renovations, etc. You can also see how things like raises, bonuses, or large one-time payments such as a tax return will affect your income. So I like to call this but I like to use this as my rough draft before I get to the monthly budget. So before I typically come on camera, I usually have the current month that I'm working on filled out with all of the changes that I need and all of the expenses that I need for the current month already filled out, and that's how I get my numbers for my monthly budget. And it's just quick and easy, so I don't have to, and it does all the calculations for me, so I don't have to really wonder if my math is super correct on the monthly budget because I already did it in Excel. So now switching over to what you guys see every month, I'm going to show you what it is. So the next step in the drill down budget method process is the monthly budget. So again, that's what you guys see every month, and what I set up with you guys on camera. So the monthly budget narrows your view to the present and gives you permission to spend by allowing you to write down your realistic expected income for the month, then proactively telling your money where to go instead of spending it and then trying to figure out where it went. So this is the monthly budget that I'm talking about. It consists of a monthly calendar, so you can write down your bills on the pay dates, and then you can use this as a reference to keep track of when your bills are due. And then this is the main monthly budget portion. So when I say monthly budget, I'm talking about these 2 columns. So you have all of your income and your expenses listed right here in the first column, and it goes down like that. And then in the second column, you have your budgeted expenses. Now, again, these numbers I do in Excel beforehand. So these numbers for me, I just copy it over from Excel into this column. And all Excel again does the calculation, so I don't have to worry about it. But since I set up my monthly budget with you guys on camera, you see me do this every month as well. So doing this allows me to tell my money where to go. So I know I'm expecting this amount of income, and I like to use the lowest amount that we could possibly get. And then down here, you can start to see where I do my monthly expenses, the cash envelopes, debt, sinking funds, planned expenses. And then for me, I use this section for business expenses for YouTube. And then you have a budget summary down here. So in all honesty, you could skip the yearly overview, but I don't recommend it just because you might miss things such as annual expenses, quarterly expenses, and you can't really figure out like how something like a large payment or influx of income is going to affect you. You can't really pre-plan is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I like the monthly budget, but I like to start with the yearly overview just so I can see what things are upcoming that might affect this budget or the next budget. Because just in case I need to save some money from this month to go into next month, then I'll know that from the yearly overview. Okay, so the next part or step 3 of the process is the weekly breakdown. And that's the rest of the columns that you see here. So for me, I don't know when I started to break down the weekly, the monthly budgeted into weekly sections, but I've done it. I feel like I've been doing it since I began budget planning, just because knowing my budgeted numbers for the month was not enough. I didn't know how much money I would have left from a paycheck because I didn't know what bills were coming out of that paycheck. I didn't know if I could go, have a girls' night with my friends because I didn't know if there was any money left over. So I've been budgeting for a couple of years now. So typically I did this weekly breakdown off camera. Just because it does take a while. It is the longest part of the drill down budget method because you have to take the time to look and see where your bills fall on the monthly calendar and then write them accordingly on your weekly breakdown. But if you do this, it allows you to, in advance, see how your paychecks are affected. Or if you like to budget by week, then you have space for 5 weeks to budget and see how much income you need and see how the expenses that are due that week affect your income. And I think this portion is really good for those with variable income because you can write down in the budgeted column, you can write down what you are expecting or what you need to pay. And then you can write down your expected income, and then you could take it week by week or paycheck by paycheck and write down the expenses that you need to pay based on the income that you receive. So you could take it week by week, or you can do it all and then adjust the numbers as you go along. So say like you thought you were going to have enough money to have $100 for gas, but you were kind of short, so now you only have $50 for gas. Well, now you can adjust the number and see how that's going to affect your budget in week 2 or paycheck 2 or whatever. So that's why I really like the weekly breakdown because it allows you to be flexible with your budget and see how if things as things change in your budget, if they change, how it affects the future paychecks in that month. So that is that. So now we're going to move on to the expense tracker. So I know I have weekly expenses up here, but I did change the name on my updated template to say expense tracker because the expense tracker provides flexibility by adjusting to how you like to track your daily expenses. You can use the expense tracker to track your expenses as they occur or just to keep tabs on the bills that you need to be paid that week or that paycheck. So like I said, you can use this expense tracker to write down your expenses as they occur. So you just carry this with you and you can just write it down or however people like to basically track their expenses as they go throughout their day. But as for me, I like to use it to track the bills that need to be be paid out of our paycheck. And you can also do that per week. So it just kind of depends on how you set up your monthly calendar, whether you are paying bills by week or by paycheck. And by paycheck, I mean that could be bi-weekly, bi-monthly, or you can get a weekly paycheck. But we get paid bi-weekly. So I put all of our expenses that are expected to come out of that paycheck right here. And then any unplanned or unbudgeted expenses go right here on this side. Like I said, the expense tracker is flexible, so you can do it either way. It doesn't really matter. So you just use it to how you need to use it in order to keep your budget on track. So that is basically the drill down budget method. Again, it's 4 steps: the yearly overview, the monthly budget, the weekly breakdown, and the expense tracker. And I think with all of these steps, you can go from a big picture view of your expenses to a more manageable day-to-day picture of your expenses so that it's bite-sized and you can manage it. So I know sometimes budgeting can be overwhelming, but I think this way, nothing should fall through the cracks and you'll be able to really be proactive in your budget and tell your money where to go. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button on your way out if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.